Grian's newest HermitCraft video was crazy. Not only did it basically confirm most of my theories from this video, but it also opened a whole new can of worms, ways for the story on the server to progress, and is coincidentally really well timed. But we'll get to that, because Grian literally just confirmed the existence of a multiverse on HermitCraft, or at least hinted at it. Okay, this video took longer to make than I expected, and Grian has already posted another video, and I think he might have been watching my old video, or at least he calls this new Grumbot Prime, as you can see here.
Content generated by Grumbot Prime.
And that doesn't have any real reason. I did call the new Mumbo Prime in my previous video, so but for all intents and purposes, the rest of this video was made before Grian posted episode 18. That's all, back to the actual video. In his newest video, Grian shows us a robot emerging from the rift, a familiar face from season 7. Grumbot, the robot child of Mumbo and Grian that was created to help run Mumbo's campaign for mayor of that season. Now, however, Grumbot has come through a rift to our current season, traveling through time, space, or maybe even both, and is significantly different. It's not just the fact that he's been mega upgraded with sculk blocks, a new chassis, and copper galore, but also the fact that the bot itself says,
"I am not your Grumbot."
Which raises a few questions, but we'll get into those. You see, this Grumbot Prime, if you will, immediately poses a few implications to the server. One, although in reality Grian was the one who built this, as you can tell from the unfinished back, the storyline that everyone's favorite Wafflehead is trying to portray here is that Grumbot Prime came through the rift of its own accord. Grian didn't summon it, didn't even try to go through the rift on his own. Indeed, it looks like the rift kind of just dumped Grumbot Prime into Grian's base like a tired parent asking you to hold their baby. Which raises the question though. If the rift can't be controlled from Grian's side, will it ever take this new Grumbot back? Is it here to stay? Can this Grumbot go back to its own reality even if it wanted to? And if not, would that lead to even more of a storyline? But there's something else I noticed, something you may have missed on the first watching of this video. You see, when this Grumbot says that it isn't our Grumbot, the one we know and love from season 7, it further explains that it comes from a season where Mumbo became mayor. Now, if you watch season 7, you'll know that Mumbo didn't actually become mayor.
We counted up all of the votes and I got 0. I got absolutely 0. Nobody voted for me. Not even me. Not even Grian. Nobody.
And Scar actually won the race, with B-Dubs as his right-hand man. Keep that in mind, let it sink in for a second while I remind you of something else. You see, Grumbot was the unofficial child of Grian and Mumbo, and its entire purpose was to make Mumbo win the race for mayor. Grian and Mumbo then being concerned parents, I guess, if not guardians, didn't want Grumbot to lose its entire purpose in life, and so they constructed an artificial reality cage around Grumbot to hoodwink him into believing that Mumbo was indeed mayor. It's very, very possible that the Grumbot Prime that we see in season 9 had the exact same thing done to him. Now again, this is huge, but also raises a few possibilities. What if 1. Grumbot Prime has no idea that Mumbo didn't actually become mayor in his timeline, and because his purpose there was fulfilled, he's now just expanding his reach to other timelines to try and find a sense of purpose again, to try and make Mumbo mayor, just in other places. Or 2, and perhaps even more sinister and I guess a bit less likely, what if Grumbot Prime does in fact know that it was hoodwinked and is now out for revenge against the creators that abandoned it in an older season, stuck in a cage of lies? What if this Grumbot doesn't have Grian's best interests at heart? Okay, but wait, bear with me here. Grumbot was built in season 7. No matter the universe, the timeline was similar enough that it was built during the mayoral election of season 7. A season with no frog lights, no copper, and sure as hell, no skulk. Now, that could just be Grian adding some clever 119 flair to his build, but it could also be a sign. There are 2 ideas here. 1. Skulk generates around death, the death of mobs in particular, and that makes me think of the artificial sun in Grumbot's cage. Is it possible that Grumbot was in that cage for so long that the sheer amount of mobs that randomly wandered in, broke his immersion, and died thanks to the sun created that skulk that now permeates him? Sure, there were no catalysts, but it could also explain the color shift from the original Grumbot's grey concrete to copper, from the white sea lanterns to the tinted green frog lights. If enough zombies die to keep you turned on and powered because of Skulk's innate ability to power things like redstone, therefore the power from the Skulk would power Grumbot, with your very essence coming from that death, maybe turn a bit green. Maybe you're not the same as you were before. Maybe you're more zombie-like, more malicious. But there's another possibility. What if the change wasn't because of any timeline differences, but instead was because of the rift? What if the rift itself changes those who pass through it to help them fit into the place they're going to better, or for worse, ages them up as they travel to the future to make them fit in? What if the space-time hopping effect of the rift has a much worse side effect than any of us could ever have imagined? Keep that in mind then as we bring up the fact from before that in both seasons where there's been a well-defined leader, the only common thread has been B-Dubs. B-Dubs was Scar's right-hand man when Scar became mayor in season 7, and now is the liege to Ren, the king, the holder of the diamonds and the quest giver on the server. Given B-Dubs' track record with helping other people who aren't Mumbo, become the mayor, the leader, it's possible that Grumbot sees B-Dubs as the ultimate threat, as the anti-Grumbot of sorts, and hence it's very possible that it'll try to mess with him in a way. Also, this is a little off topic from the Grian video, but I was in my Discord server the other day when one of the members brought up this screenshot, a snippet of B-Dubs' newest adventure titled Dragon Bro Remains. Now, this alone has a lot of implications because of the group of Iskal, Grian, and Mumbo from season 6 of HermitCraft. Does this mean other old HermitCraft groups might return, like the NHO for example? It's possible that this plus Grumbot coming as well implies other seasons returning, and this also could be tied into the rift within B-Dub's quest itself. Perhaps the remains that got reanimated by the dragon hybrid we see in Corrales' video came through the rift. Maybe they got reanimated by Grumbot as well, but I have a more outlandish theory. What if by defeating this dragon hybrid and effectively getting rid of the false dragon bro on the server, Corrales and B-Dubs could use the power of the Tree of Whimsy, which is B-Dubs' magical tree he built to give quests out from, to summon back Mumbo. It would be a great way to integrate our favorite mustachioed hermit back into the server after his IRL break, and he was a dragon bro, so the pieces are all kind of there. Back to Grumbot though, and if we go forward in the video, we see that Grumbot also has... Grumbot also has these little vats next to him that Grian reveals as content generators. Bit on the nose, but hey, I know what burnout's like. It's, not fun. Anyway, these content generators are controlled, quote-unquote, by Grumbot, but of course they're actually completely random in reality. But the way they work is by dispensing an item, a hermit, and an action on pieces of paper, with the content having to be made around that. Now again, this is pretty unlikely, and of course the dispensers on the server are completely random, but if we were going full story lore mode and Grumbot actually did control these vats, wouldn't it stand to reason that it would just give everyone pranks to do on B-Dub, to try and do everything it could to convince everyone to sabotage the king's right-hand man, not just because of this season, but to try and make sure he doesn't make anyone but Mumbo a leader again. But wait, hold on a second. Grumbot's purpose in life was to make Mumbo mayor, right? Not king, not a cult leader like he was with the Mooners, mayor. Although HermitCraft Season 9 has a king, that might not be what Grumbot Prime wants to fulfill its purpose. Hold on a second here. Grian currently has a little rock in his base where he's, not starting a revolution against the king. I mean, Grian starting a revolution is boring. It's been done too many times before, it's worn out, it's a trope. Let's move on, right? Surely Annie won't suggest a barely plausible theory to make Grian start a revolution, right? Right? Okay, so hear me out. Grian himself has described this new Grumbot as like an 8-ball who he can ask for help with decisions. And let's just think about the story for a second here. If I was Grumbot Prime and I wanted Mumbo to be mayor, well, I'd see what I could do to overthrow the monarchy, right? And in the very same way, if I was Grumbot Prime and I wanted revenge on Grian, like I said earlier, for keeping me in a false reality, well, it seems so easy to just make him do the one thing he's desperately trying not to do, to make him start a revolution. Thinking about the content generators again though, they're extremely similar to something else on the server. The quest system that Ren, the king, has going. Which, by the way, is so interesting that I'm making a whole other video about it, so get subscribed for that. But this kind of contrast to like orderly, claim your quest and gain points and diamonds compared to Grumbot's, here are 3 things, just kind of wing it. That contrast sets itself up perfectly for, well, another civil war of sorts. Grumbot versus the king, order versus chaos, the leader of the G team versus one of the members of Team Star. And wait, there's another thing that we should mention here. Although Grumbot's purpose is, of course, to make Mumbo mayor, we have to bear in mind two things. One, it's, in the story of course, not in real life, a sentient AI and therefore can think for itself, and two, Mumbo isn't back on the server yet. Now, this bit could all go out of the window because Mumbo said on Twitter that he was thinking of coming back around September, but if there's no Mumbo on the server, the next closest thing is, well, Grumbot. Grian literally says in his video,
We're gonna visit the cave where I miss my friend so much that I made a new one.
what if Grumbot tries to become mayor as a stand-in, a substitute until Mumbo is back, and thus leads the revolution and lets the power get to its CPU? What if this story starts as a civil war to try and revolt against the king, and ends in the entire server banding together to take down Grumbot? That, despite sounding like a goddamn Marvel movie, honestly isn't as impossible as you might think, and in my opinion, will be one of the coolest HermitCraft storylines yet. If you enjoyed this video, check out the previous one I made that started this whole thing, or this video that YouTube thinks you'll like. Subscribe!